the recording. Thanks. So I want to welcome everybody to our coordinated community response meetings. And Jess, I'm Margaret Firerobin, and I do both Family Promise of Bristol as well as Appalachian Promise Alliance. So this started mostly with Appalachian Promise Alliance during COVID, where we met weekly when things were changing day to day for what we knew and what our housing and feeding situation was for the most vulnerable in our community. So we started then, and we've continued, went to every other week and then went to every week to, once a month, excuse me. And we have kept that up and have different programs. We also do have our YouTube channel where we have our recordings. So don't forget that. You can share anything when we have a program that you're particularly interested in. So our next meetings are on September 26th at I did this backwards for us, and we're real excited to have Aaron Scott and Opal Fry. I forgot to remind myself. Anyway, they both have been working on a plan for Johnson Cities to address homelessness. Opal comes from public health. She's just recently got her PhD. And Aaron Scott comes from working with Salvation Army and other nonprofits working with homelessness. So I'm looking forward. I've talked with them once, looking forward to hearing more about what their observations, their data is, et cetera. And I think it'll apply to all of us, Tennessee or Virginia, to learn from them. Today we are, and Bristol Coalitions meets on the second Tuesdays, and that's September 9th, and they meet at noon in person as well as online. I try to send that out. You may be on that list, but I also try to send it out. I don't get it till either Friday or Monday right before that Tuesday, but they meet on a regular basis and have for decades that they've done working together as coalition. Theirs is virtual and in person. So I want today to welcome Clay Mitchell. We're fortunate to have him here today. Last time we had Linda Austin, who we all appreciate so much and admire and are in awe of the work that she participates in and has helped to been instrumental in getting going in Southwest Virginia. She talked about the Mountain Mission School, and several people on here had questions, weren't quite familiar with some of the opportunities that it provides, possibly with some of the people that we work with. She was able to get Clay available for this meeting, so we are thrilled to have him here. So I will turn it over to him. And Clay, if you can tell us just a minute more about yourself before you get in to talking about the program and what would be helpful for us to know and understand. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys first off for letting me come in and speak a little bit about Mountain Mission School. My name is Clay Mitchell. I have been working here for a little over 2 years now, but I grew up here in Grundy. If anybody's ever been to Grundy, Virginia before, I never thought I would be back. I'll say that. When I left for Bible college, I had every intention to find a youth ministry position, find a ministry job, and not have to look back at Grundy. And God completely altered that trajectory completely. He placed many seeds in my life that I've made it back here to Grundy. I currently serve as the director of church relations for the school and recruitment. So I travel for the school. I talk to churches, donor churches, getting new churches on. And also, when I say recruitment, I don't recruit students necessarily, but I work at missions. So I'm the first point of contact when students and families apply for Mountain Mission School. And I do recruit staff members. And so I go out and when I visit churches, I also visit other parachurch ministries, other associations like many that are here today, and look for ways that we can continue to partner with other individuals. and as well as finding new staff members. So that's kind of my role here at Mountain Mission School. But I'm more than willing and grateful that I can be here today to answer any questions that you all might have.
Thank you. Can you talk a little bit about the program? Some people aren't as familiar with it. I think a lot of people understand that there's a program, but perhaps don't understand exactly how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So last April made 104 years that Mountain Mission School has been here in operations. And so it's changed a lot over those years. I'm sure as many of you know that the way programs and, homelessness was addressed in 1921 was a lot different than it is addressed today. And so just like how those things have changed, we've changed as well. We've still remained as a nonprofit, so we don't take any kind of government assistance or any kind of subsidies or grants. We operate entirely off of church donations, individual donations, business note donations, and an endowment that we were helped in starting back in 2018. So that's kind of the where to begin. As far as the program goes, how families apply, the kind of families that we help, I'll say what we aren't. We are not a behavior reform institution. We are strictly the child cannot be the issue. The environment needs to be the issue, and so that could be poverty, that could be homelessness. Mom and dad are not getting along. Maybe mom and dad can't afford the child any longer. Maybe it's grandma or grandpa that was given custody, but they just don't have the means to take care of their child, their grandchild. And so we can step in loco parentis and do all those things for them that they cannot do themselves. And so on our campus, we have around 45 acres of developed property. We have 8 residential halls, 4 for the boys, 4 for the girls on separate sides. And so when families apply, if it's a boy, they stay in Parker Hall, where they are divided up by age groups. Each hall will have dedicated hall parents. It depends on the size of the hall for any given year, how many hall parents are on the hall. So for instance, this year, Parker 3 reopened. We have 2 families that serve on that hall. One of them are the Craftons. They are a family of 4, a married couple and their children. And so they serve on the hall, and they take shifts with their hall parents. And so they might be watching for 4 hours at a time while the other family is taking a break. They have their own dedicated apartments on the halls that they live in, that when a child needs assistance with homework, with laundry, with anything and everything, they live up to that name, hall parents. They become the parents for these children. And so going back again to, admissions, the kind of kids that we're accepting, it's children that don't necessarily might have an IEP or a 504. While we do look at IEPs and 504s, it's with navigating the staff that we have to teach, for the current year. Our staff moves a lot. And so if we have the staff that are able to accommodate in the way that those IEPs and 504s, we feel like we can, then we can accept that child. That's if there's an IEP and 504. Oftentimes there's not. Oftentimes it's stories of mom, she came over to the States. She couldn't find work, but she had 3 students. And so she just couldn't take care of them. She had a night job. She has a full-time, she has 2 jobs, whatever the story might be. And we're able to take on that burden. Families do have to qualify financially. And so when students apply, if the family has a 1040, a recent 1040, we look at that. If they are in that bracket of poverty for their household size, then we don't charge a dime. As long as they are in that bracket of poverty, again, depending on their household size, we don't charge anything. We're able to do that because of our backing from churches, individuals and businesses, like I said. And so we don't charge anything for what we have here. We have a cafeteria. We have 2 chefs, full-time chefs that rotate in and out. We have kitchen staff that help them, hall parents, girl side, boy side. We have a fully K-12 accredited school where we have teachers that also serve as the hall parents. We have a principal, a vice principal, our president, HR, anything and everything. We are fully staffed and capable of, helping families that might be suffering from homelessness. And we're not permanent. We don't have to be an option that is, hey, if you place your student here at Mountain Mission School, they have to be here for 6 months. It doesn't have to be that. It can be, hey, mom has to go into rehab and she can't take care of her. She doesn't want to lose her system, her child to the system. So we can handle them for 6 weeks or however long that, she would need to go through a program. Maybe mom went to jail, but dad just can't take care of the kids himself. But once mom gets out of jail, she would like her children back. We can be that option. And so it's been, 104 years. I could sit here all day. It's a sermon in and of itself. Just the amount of stories that have gone through Mountain Mission School, the amount of adversity that children have gone through, the amount of adversity that our staff have, presented to students, to, challenge them and where they came from and where they can be. But that's kind of the big picture of Mountain Mission School. Again, I'm more than willing to, if anybody has questions about finer details, I can be available right now to answer any of those.
All right. Anybody have questions or observations or anything to share?
I will add that we are currently, our capacity is around 250. And so we only have around 170 kids on campus. So we have around 80 or 90 beds available. So that's anywhere from infant. So we have a nursery of babies. Our youngest right now is 2 years old from Kentucky. And so we have, even a fully staffed nursery, around 4 ladies that work that nursery full time. But again, we have around 80 to 90 beds that are completely empty right now.
So, yeah, so do you serve people outside of the state of Virginia? How does that work?
Yeah, we serve kids from all over. We don't take any international students. So no students that are on F1 student visas. We don't do that. They have to have some kind of status in the US. That's the very first criteria. Are they a citizen? Do they have permanent residency or a green card? Do they have asylum status? For instance, right now we have 10 Ukrainian students on campus, 10 students and their families who fled the war, whose parents got here with no foothold whatsoever on how to take care of even themselves. And so we have 10 students from Ukraine right now that are living with us who are likely not permanent placements. They likely won't graduate from here, but they, mom and dad just need time to figure out how to survive in the US.
So did you say their parents are there also, or?
One of the mothers is one mother. She's from Minnesota. Her husband died during the war, and she came over here and just didn't have a network to help take care of 3 kids. And then the other mother, she came here with 7 children, all on her own. She came and we needed nursery staff, and she's raised 7 kids. So she lives here full time with us, raising her kids and helping us on our nursery as well.
Cool.
Okay, so that kind of goes along with the question I had. Do y'all utilize volunteers, and if so, in what capacities?
We do have some volunteers, and let me back up and say that anybody and everybody that comes to Mountain Mission School to work or is a volunteer, either part-time or full-time, goes through a state and federal background check. And so we're pretty rigorous with that. If those 2 things don't come together, then you don't work at Mountain Mission School. The campus is secure, so we have cameras placed around the campus. The only place the cameras are not is in the bedrooms and in the bathrooms, obviously. And so, campus is secure. But yes, we do have full-time, we have some full-time volunteers. We have one lady right now who she is, I think, in her early 20s. She came from Ohio and she didn't know what to do, but she knew she wanted to work with children. And so she, of course, passed the background checks. She helps with our nursery right now, just taking care of a few kids during the day. And she lives here full time. She doesn't take a salary, but she's a full-time volunteer. And she's a part of everything. She has meals with us. She has meals with the kids, lives in her own apartment, kind of sectioned off on Hurley Hall where we have the toddlers live. But yeah, there are some staff members that are full-time, just volunteers.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Other questions or? So how many, so y'all have graduation?
Margaret, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tony.
I was late to the meeting. I was just putting in a few things. I went to the website last night and didn't spend a huge amount of time, but I was obviously very impressed and think that the diversity at first didn't jump out at me because some of the images were, for example, of all black race or not race, black. And then you were talking, and I just heard about Ukrainians, and I'm going, well, that's a whole different type of diversity. I applaud that. I mean, may not be saying it exactly right, but this is something to really applaud, that your primary means of communicating is to make people feel like you're really doing something special. So I think what you already have, but if you can update your website to include some of this stuff, it's going to even attract more people, including potential sponsors.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we just over the years, I don't know the number, but if you ever come on campus and look in our gym, we've put a flag up for just every nationality since the school has started that's been on campus. And it goes around the gym about 3 times. So yes, and that goes back to Margaret, your answer. Do we just accept students from Virginia? No, we accept students from all over the place, but I mean, we're in the middle of Virginia, or not in the middle of Virginia, the middle of Southwest Virginia, an area that desperately needs help. And so while we don't pay for, we don't see it as a being good stewards of the donations that we get at this moment to pay for big expensive promotionals. We rely more on things like this where we, speak to individuals, community leaders like you all. To find those students because we want to help Southwest Virginia as much as we can. But it's hard to get that out there, especially when where a place like Grundy that once was a hub for an economy is no longer that. And people have left. There's not a whole lot of business here anymore. There's a Walmart and a few gas stations. And so Grundy has kind of been left behind just as a town. And so it's going to take some time, but we feel like more things like this and just leaders that come and see us, come visit us, that we think, especially Southwest Virginia will hear more about us and be able to use us.
So Clay, if you can elaborate on that. So if anybody does want to come and visit, besides calling Linda Austin and asking her to set stuff up, what does that involve? And also what is included in a visit if somebody comes to visit?
So you're free. Linda's great to talk to. So Linda if you ask Linda, I'm sure I would be the next person she would call.
Right.
But I shared my phone number. That's actually my cell phone number. I consider that a work number. So please, if you ever want to come visit, or if you're just in town, stop by our administration building. We have people often that are visiting through Grundy and they see this weird thing to their left or right, called Mountain Mission School, and they stop by and, hey, can I just look around? Yeah, as long as a staff member is with you, you're free to come for a visit, schedule it or show up. As long as somebody's here, please come by. And if you schedule it ahead of time, we would love for you to have lunch with us. We'll schedule that where you can have lunch with the kids, and then we'll introduce all your different organizations to the staff members and the kids as well.
Right. So people can see the school in progress or
Yep.
whatever else. Great.
Yep. Absolutely.
Great. Okay. Other thoughts? Or experiences with? So do you have previous students or families that can speak to people who are looking at y'all for help, but maybe trying to make their decision? Are there people who have graduated or have been there a while that y'all refer them to speak to, so they get to hear it from that viewpoint?
Yeah, I see a lot of where I work admissions, when applications come in, they come straight to my email. So I see a lot of and there's a section on our application that just says, hey, how did you hear about Mountain Mission School? I see a lot of mothers telling other mothers. And so a good majority, I'd say more than half of our applications come from moms who either had their child here at one point or knows of another mom who had their child here that told another parent. And so it definitely, right now, it seems like word of mouth is our greatest driver for how we get applications. Now, there are some where, like the Ukrainians, they didn't necessarily hear us by word of mouth, but simply by Googling us. Somehow they Googled, children's homes in America, and Mount Mission somehow popped up on that list, maybe near the top, I suppose. And so it comes from all sorts of ways. But yeah, I would say word of mouth from other parents. And we do have several staff members who are full-time who graduated here as students. I wish she's actually taking her son today to Johnson University for his first day of college. But Wanda, she is our alumni director. She was here in the 80s as a student where her dad could not afford them, and he dropped them off without really telling them how, why he was doing what he did. But he just wanted to spare them, knowing that their dad couldn't take care of them. And so she grew up here. She went through it, and she's a great advocate for us now, especially when families who apply maybe are not quite sure of it. She can speak to, hey, I was here. I understand it. I know what I went through. I know what kids are going to go through.
Well, so that makes me think too. So how do families stay in touch with each other once children are there and in school, et cetera? So what do y'all help facilitate, or how's that managed?
Two big parts when students are placed here at Mountain Mission School. We just ask parents or guardians, whoever it might be that has custody of them, to give us the first 6 weeks with no contact, either by visit or by phone. But after that 6 weeks, that usually tells us, hey, is the student, if they're going to be here longer than 6 weeks even, are they going to do well? Are they going to handle living in a hall, hall life, living with roommates, living with responsibilities? The students have jobs, they have chores that they do. Can they handle the work, the balancing school and living in a hall as well? But after that 6 weeks, parents, guardians are free to call in anytime that they want after school hours. So school ends around 3:30. And usually after the first few weeks that school starts, parents will figure out what time that their child gets off the playground to go back to the hall, what time that they get back from dinner. But anywhere from 3:30 till bedtime for each hall, parents are more than welcome to call in to check on all their kids. And then on weekends, parents are free to come and check out their students if they can. Not a lot can, so it doesn't happen so often. But yeah, weekends, as long as they have them back for school on Monday, families are more than capable of, or if they're capable, to come and stay with their kids.
Okay, so they can they take them to family occasion, or
If they can, yeah, if they have the means. A lot of families that apply for us, they either don't have vehicles of their own or they're borrowing vehicles, so it doesn't happen too often, but it does happen here and there, and they can. That's the important part.
So for me, that raises a little question about technology, as in emails and texts and stuff like that. So what do y'all have? How do y'all work with technology, since there's so much, and so much of it is pretty crazy, and et cetera too?
Yeah, I think we're past the when I was in high school, not everyone, even when I graduated high school in 2014, still not everybody had a cell phone. But now every single child, it seems like, even kindergarten, sometimes their parents are giving them, even if it is a simple phone, it's still a cell phone. And so it's definitely a problem that I think everybody's experiencing in the education field, is students just having cell phones at any time. So we have a rule on campus that phones are not allowed in the school building at all. If they're caught with it, we take it. Parents will sign a waiver saying that we're free to pick up their cell phones if they're misbehaving with it. But where we have that rule to not have it in the school building, they follow that pretty well. But then after school, kids can have it on the halls only, if they have a cell phone. Again, not a lot of our kids, compared probably to public school, have cell phones, but I'd say a good majority of our kids do. They're allowed to have it on the halls, but only up until lights out. And so after that, every hall parent has a lockbox that they just keep it in, and then they get it back the day after or the morning after. But every student does have a Chromebook. We do have Chromebooks where we use Google Classroom for classes. But internet there's several firewalls that keep kids away from things that they shouldn't be looking at. and it is monitored. So if we do, if kids are caught looking at something they shouldn't be looking at, or speaking to somebody that they shouldn't be speaking to, we address that with the student. And if the parent is available, we pull them in as well, remotely, by Zoom. But yeah, it is, we address electronics. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I think the no cell phones in school is becoming, I don't know if it's a norm yet, but certainly school systems across our country are addressing that and determining to what extent it's unhealthy for our kids to have as much access to some of the technology 24/7, 365, right?
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, no, that sounds interesting. Anybody else have questions?
I just wanted to say, as an employee of Crossroads, we have a fabulous perk that annually we go to Mountain Mission School, and our providers, along with volunteers, a lot of volunteers. There's quite a few of us that went this year in April. We do physicals for the students, and I've lived in Bristol pretty much my whole life and didn't even know about the school. And so to get to go and experience it, have lunch with the kids, it's quite remarkable. So I'm very appreciative of what you're doing. And also, where our program within Crossroads is new, and we work with people that are in recovery, knowing there's an option for their children, because that's a big barrier for people looking for recovery. Is what do we do for our children? And so just knowing that's here and in our community and accessible is very valuable. So thanks for what you do.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for what you all do. I mean, it's what a blessing to have you guys come down and with the physicals. I don't know if you had met Miss Harrison, our family nurse practitioner. She speaks very highly of when Crossroads comes. And you reminded me too, there's always something I forget. We do have a family nurse practitioner that is full-time on staff with us that stays on campus. So she's not just a nurse, but she's able to diagnose and prescribe medicines for our students.
Great. So I have one more thought or question. I know a lot of people on here are probably in organizations that have learned about and about adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, and trauma-informed care. And that's kind of changed some of how we do what we do. So are y'all focused on that, and your teachers and staff have some training to understand? And certainly I would assume that poverty is a trauma that's in and of itself. So yeah, are y'all
It is
into
definitely
some of that?
It's definitely it's something that we are late to the game. I'll say that. We don't have a great answer for it now. What we do for the moment is we partner with Healing Waters in Cedar Bluff, where they do remote sessions with our students twice a week if the student signs up for it. And then once a month they come on campus. And so that's our best answer right now. We're still navigating it, and there are a handful, and I don't remember the names right now. There's a program that our staff does go through. Not our full staff, our teaching staff, any staff that's like on campus.
Right.
Like for instance, I don't live on campus, so I don't go through that training. But all of our staff that do live on campus, they have gone through a training. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, so I apologize. But it's definitely something that we're still trying to navigate, mental health, and it's something that needs addressed. I mean, every student that I see come through admissions wise, it's getting increasingly rarer to see students that don't have some kind of trauma.
Right.
And so it's something that we're trying to catch up to where we need to be. And
Right.
so while we don't have a great answer for it right now, we are seeking avenues for it. And I say that with, hey, here's a network of people. Please reach out to me if you think there is some kind of program or
Okay,
something that, we can work together to make something like that happen.
great. Okay, we'll see what we can do for some follow-up. And I think, so Family Promise of Bristol, we've done a little bit of training with our staff, but what I also, some of it comes to people pretty naturally. But some of it, even if it's naturally how you approach things being other people, children, life in general. But I think doing some of the training, et cetera, helps you to focus to really do it on purpose, not just that that's how you operate and that's who you are, but really be purposeful in how you approach it. So yeah, there's some good stuff out there.
And I'll add just to that thought as well. Our answer up until, hey, what formal trainings can we have? Trying to find a great way to navigate that. So, we try to keep as much as possible. Every hall parent comes from a family. So it's people that have raised kids, people that have
Right.
raising their own kids. And so they know what it's like to raise a child. They know what it's like when a child has a bad day. They know it because their own children have gone through bad days. We try to just keep the halls to staff members that have their own families or they have raised their own families. And so that helps a lot. But again, it's not, raising your own family isn't formal training. So, but it does help when that child does, come with trauma, having a staff member that has raised they have their own kids, they've raised their own kids, so they know what it's like to talk to a child.
Great. Yeah, I know Appalachian Promise Alliance has parenting education programs that incorporate trauma-informed care and also attachment theory and some things that are have been proven to help support children. So as well as there's other trainings. So we can get back with you. That'd be great. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, anybody else? And Tony's made a note in the chat, but trying to see if there's opportunities to connect with some of the higher ed. So can look at that for any follow-up as well. So anybody else and have questions for Clay? Or comments, and if not, what we do next, Clay, and you are welcome to stay, and people can introduce themselves and give any updates that they've got from their programs, et cetera. So, yeah, so Crossroads, I'll start with y'all to see what y'all have, since y'all are dominating the screen with more people in the background.
Well, we have the train going by right now, so it's quite loud.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you, because I know it might not bother us too much. It'll bother y'all.
Yeah.
It's weird how sometimes you don't hear things in the background. I did hear the train. Ellen Tolton, why don't we start with you then?
I got the train too, Margaret.
Oh, that's true. I will come back to you too.
I'm Ellen Tolton. I'm with the city of Bristol, Virginia in community development, and I really don't have anything to share right now.
No money available with CDBG, nothing like that.
Well, I'm still waiting to get my funding for this program year that started July 1st. I have not gotten it yet. So I am still waiting on that. I administer a home repair program for homeowners, low-income homeowners that reside in Bristol, Virginia. And so I do have applications available. So if anybody knows of any residents that own their home that are in need of home repair services, we can help them. But again, I'm still waiting on my funding for the program year that started July 1st. So any day now, I hope.
So I have a question that you may or may not be able to answer. Family Promise of Bristol, we pay for 2 porta potties, the one at Salvation Army that I think is available 24/7, one at Haven Arrest that they may lock at night. I'm not sure now. And recently I noticed that there's one across from Reynolds Memorial United Methodist Church that has the City of Bristol logo on it. Do you know anything about that?
I do not. I mean, we have, had the conversation many times, but I don't know. I don't know
Okay,
who's
well,
responsible for it.
it looks like it's a good spot to have it, so,
Okay, well, good. I hope
um,
the city did do that.
yeah, so if you find out anything, that would be great.
Okay.
So, Danielle, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Danielle Haney with the United Company Foundation, President of Community Outreach. So just wanted to let you know we have our grant application. We're August 31st is the deadline for that. So if anybody's interested, look forward to seeing those come in. We've got slightly new process for it. So created a grant email. And sorry, I'm getting a phone call. So would love to see some grants come through if you have any.
Great, thank you. And Danielle, I had an email started for you and Claire and the foundation just recognizing the passing of Jim McLaughlin. And I know that that affects y'all directly as well. So wanted to offer condolences.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Jamie Kincaid.
I luckily don't have a train. No real updates from Virginia Veteran and Family Support. We still do have funding for housing, for deposits and first month's rent. Seeing a pretty big uptick in the homeless, not necessarily locally, but I have a lot of clients up around the Roanoke area and it just seems to be increasing. So been pretty busy, pretty busy. But if
I would
anybody's
know
working,
that
I'm
from
sorry.
Family Promise of Bristol, the numbers have been up significantly. And continue to see more elderly and people with disabilities.
Yes, I have been working with a gentleman all morning who is actually bedbound in a motel, had a stroke and took a fall a few days ago and hasn't even been able to get up to eat or take his insulin or anything for 2 days and needed to be out of his hotel by 11 this morning, really with nowhere to go. And unfortunately we can't do motel stays. So I've been trying to fix that all morning. So I got to follow up with him here, but I'm just hoping.
Thank you. I know so many, the shortage of housing, but also just what do you do with some of the people who don't have what would be a family role to help take care of people. And for lots of different reasons and individual reasons, families are not able to. People don't have families either at all or don't have families that are in a position to be able to help and support. So it is really hard to know what to do and really pulls at your heart for seeing what people are going through. So thank you. Kat Floyd Jennings.
Hey, this is Kat Floyd Jennings, and I'm with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. I work with the state grant Creating Homes Initiative. We do not have any updates about when we're going to have funding. It's probably going to be spring. But in the meantime, if anybody needs any help with grant polishing or grant consulting, then feel free to reach out.
And I think that's the status of a lot of people don't know, are still hopeful that there's going to be funding somewhere, but it's been delayed or not yet confirmed. And I know we don't believe it till we see it. And recently, even if we see it, sometimes that doesn't stay that way. So it's a pretty chaotic world for trying to help people. Renee Crick?
Good afternoon. I'm Renee Crick. I'm the Children and Youth Service Coordinator for Bristol Behavioral Health Services in Bristol, Tennessee. My only main update is we actually did get some funding recently, which I know is like a small miracle, to allow for a second mental health worker to ride around with the Bristol Police Department. So we've had Monica Tucker, who's been riding with them for quite some time now. And that's going really well. And so it was approved for us to add a second person. So I think she usually is Sunday through Wednesday. So I think this person would probably cover the second half of the week. So they will have someone available all through the week. And their job is to ride around with the police officers, go out on calls where they believe there are mental health issues involved, and help with de-escalation and safety.
So Renee, do you know what the timeline is for that?
I don't know. I literally found out yesterday that it got
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and I hope we can have somebody, the police chief or somebody, come and speak here about that program. And Renee, I don't know if that would include anybody from Frontier. You can let me know. If somebody from Frontier, we could have somebody from that angle, or police department. But yeah, just to share, I think she started in January and that's another hat I wear, is the Bristol, Tennessee City Council. And everyone has been, I think both Frontier Health and the police department and the city overall has been thrilled with what has happened since Monica has been there, both with how well she's been accepted, how she does her role, and she's got data with how many people she has helped. A lot of people with homelessness, but it's also mental health overall. And she has data for the people she's helped, but also the follow-up. So it's not just a one-time, it is following up to be sure that help continues. Does that describe it pretty well, Renee?
I think that describes it perfectly. Yes, absolutely. And we're really excited to have a second person, because I definitely think we have seen some really positive results from that program. And I'll check and see. Monica may be willing to even come talk with us about it. I'll reach out. But if not her, definitely somebody.
That would be awesome. I think it'd be great. And this is kind of a pilot program, so the data, looking at the data, et cetera. But there was some fear that the police department would be slow to embrace that model. And apparently it happened pretty quickly, and she's been in huge demand. She rides with somebody and gets calls from somebody else in another part of the city to come and help. And it's been great, and I was really pleased with Frontier Health person who visited, who complimented our police department as well for being caring, being ready to have this kind of approach. It also, from what I understand, helps the police tremendously, because when they have somebody with mental health issues, they don't have to take them and wait at the hospital. They can, for sometimes hours, they can have someone evaluated immediately, and the process for help starts quickly. So it's a huge plus for the police themselves, and then a huge plus for our citizens as well. And so and for the clients who end up being hopefully treated with respect and get the help that they need. So thank you, Renee, very much. Amy?
Hello, my name is Amy Lott Carlson, and I serve as the Regional Housing Facilitator for Region 1 of Northeast Tennessee under the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services Creating Homes Initiative. And just like Cat Floyd Jennings, I can also assist community organizations with grant writing as part of my state-supported role.
Thank you. very much. And also just, I know this is a well-informed group, but nationally, the number one reason for homelessness is lack of affordable housing. So it is not, there's lots of reasons why people come to homelessness. What's also interesting is a lot of people, the problems with addiction sometimes come after homelessness. It's what they turn to for self-medication, et cetera. So, which breaks the myth that a lot of people think that's why people become homeless, which of course is true for some cases, but also sometimes it works the other way around. Crossroads, we'll get back to you if the train's gone. Is the train gone?
It is gone. It is a brief visit we get each day. So, so our main update is that Amber joined our peer team on August 1st. And so now there are 3 of us, and we continue to do go and speak and share our program throughout the community, while at the same time we are seeing patients. We have a connection with the chaplain at the jail in Abingdon and have been doing a little bit of reentry work. And so our program is just continuing to grow. We still are doing our capital campaign with Crossroads to try to get our facility renovated so that we have that space to see more patients and to provide additional programming.
So, okay. Tony, did I check on you? We can't hear you for some reason. It doesn't say it's muted, but we don't hear you. Don't know. Okay. All right. So Tony DeLucia is at ETSU and has been part of some of the different things that we've done with Youth Network and Alliance and this network and meeting as well. So we're always glad to have him here. So Karen from Family Promise, do you want to add anything?
We are like many organizations right now. We are just waiting to hear about funding. We are not waiting till next spring. Hopefully we will hear early fallish about some of our housing dollars coming in. So we will keep you guys updated as we hear more about that.
So, yeah, in the meantime, a place to be, our Community Day Center is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 1. Hunt Memorial United Methodist does Mondays and Fridays. And I guess we think that the weekend people are fine, which is not the case. Anyway, there are meals over the weekend, various places, but Place to Be provides a place to be and showers and charging cell phones, et cetera. We partner with lots and lots of people, and different partners come in to the facility. We have Frontier Health that comes in. Highlands did and may come back again. They've got their mobile unit that we can refer people to. We don't have housing dollars, but we're continuing to help people to get birth certificates and IDs. Sam, our case manager, and we feel like case management is the strongest part of our program. He keeps up with the resources so he can still help people get to veteran services, to people who still have some housing resources. So we continue to help people into housing. We have one person that hoping after 20 years of homelessness that she'll be able to enter into permanent supportive housing. So there's great need. It's hard work, but we do have successes and things that we can feel good about. We need a mountain mission school for homelessness. That would be awesome if we could manage something like that. So, yeah, nutritional outreach, we probably need to check on that. We also have had, Family Promises had conversations with the Family Promise residency program here in Bristol, and they hope to, in a few months, hopefully do at least a monthly visit to the day center to help with some of the issues that people have there. We send people regularly to Crossroads, which is walking distance if they can do it, and bus service to Healing Hands as well. So we depend on our health clinics and health folks to do that. Anybody else have anything else? I can also say the Strong ACC, Strong Accountable Care Community, is having a symposium on September 10 and 11. If you're not a partner with them, the membership costs nothing. The sign up is on the website. We also, I'm on the Leadership Council and on policy and advocacy. We're doing a lot with talking with our legislators. And when you can say you have membership of 400 strong, I'd love to be able to say it's 500, over 500 strong. That can really hold some power to be able to do that. So, and there's programs that they're working on in different areas, mental health being one, child development, child care, and the last one is healthcare. So if you want to be part of that, join membership, you'll get emails and opportunities. If you want more information, let me know. I'll be glad to share information with y'all and who the best contacts are. So with that, I will end 5 minutes early. Clay, we want to thank you very much. Do you want to have any last word for adding anything?
No, just thank you guys for letting me come and speak. Again, my contact information, I shared it in the chat. So feel free to call me, text me, email me, whatever it is. If you guys want to see it, to come by, or if you need to make a referral, please just let me know.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
So, and thank you all for being here. And just a reminder that the next meeting will have Opal and Erin to share with us the research they've done and some of the best practices that they are familiar with for homelessness. So thank you all very much. Have a good day, and I will send out the chat and the recording. Sometimes I'm slower than I would like to get the recording out, but I eventually get it there. So, and Clay, if you need to share it with anybody rather than being in person, you're welcome to share it with anybody. So anyway, thank you all very, very much, and we'll see you in September. I think that's a song. So I won't sing it, but I'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye.